the past decade plus in the modern day entertainment industry, sadly it's become common for studios to, instead of looking inward and acknowledging that, you know what, maybe we delivered you a gigantic pile of crap. Maybe we took a franchise, an IP that you once loved, and completely perverted it with modern day identity politics. Instead of taking ownership and maybe even apologizing to the fan base, instead they take the opposite approach. They pretend like they've done nothing wrong, and instead they blame the fan base. That's exactly what we've seen from Disney Star Wars over and over again. But when it comes to the Acolyte, which was just released on Disney Plus, it seems like it's an accelerated timetable. They're not even waiting a week. In fact, some of these attacks on fans came before the series even came out. A week before, during a disastrous press tour, you saw people like Kathleen Kennedy blaming sexist Star Wars fans for all their attacks on women. You saw Leslie Headland essentially set the stage and say, you know what? If you criticize this for identity politics and pushing a gay agenda or whatever it may be, then you're not really a Star Wars fan. Well, the show came out, and as so many people predicted, it's a gigantic pile of shit. Right now, as you can see, although the critics are loving it, how weird that the critics would love something that is soulless, that is not Star Wars, that does not even fucking make sense, a mystery story where there's no fucking mystery. The critics somehow, almost unanimously, are praising this pile of shit. The fans have a little bit of a different feeling. Down to 29%. For the record, this is the worst reviewed thing in terms of audience score in the history of Star Wars. Not just Disney Star Wars, Star Wars. Going all the way back to 1977. This is the product that fans despise the most. And as I said with this accelerated timetable, the media has not waited long to weigh in on why this is happening. It couldn't possibly be that maybe fans don't like something. Just as we see time and time again, whether it's Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, a complete disaster, whether it's a terrible Marvel movie, it's always the fans' fault, and they always use the same phrasing, review bombing. If fans don't like something and voice their opinions and the media wants to say that it's good, it's always review bombing. Couldn't possibly be genuine, could it? The Acolyte is down to an audience score of 32% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's seemingly due to review bombing. Basic plot synopsis write-ups and a lot of half-star reviews from new accounts. It's important to note there are genuine criticisms of Star Wars news show. Yeah, thanks for making that the last part you say. There's a lot of genuine criticisms, and the vast majority of people that are criticizing it are genuine. You know what? Just as we've seen with a lot of dog shit shows or video games in the past, there's a lot of fake 5-star reviews. There's a lot of fake positive reviews for this shit out there too from brand new accounts, but you don't want to mention that. You only want to mention that fans really don't like it. And this is over and over again. You see Screen Rant. The Acolyte review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. The Acolyte gets review bombed, setting unfortunate Star Wars record. At least this one put a question mark. The Acolyte debuts. Critics are pleased, but fans are not. Review bombing or bias. And Screen Rant, very appropriately, got fucking destroyed for this tweet right here. You could see 300 comments, only 154 likes, a lot of quote tweets as well. Just look at some of these numbers. Review bombing goes both ways, you spineless shills, from Gary. Star Wars is dead. That meme ratioed Screen Rant. You've misgendered me. You've misgendered yourself. You got, there's Master of the TDS. Yeah, check one off on the bingo card there. Review bombed from Verbal Riot. It's true. Critics review bombed to give it high scores despite how terrible it is. There's John F. Trent from Bounding Into Comics. What else do we have? As opposed to review bombing by critics, giving it a 93% positive score. So yes, fans are speaking back out. This is really what it's all about. Every fucking time we see this, we see a project that is made for the mainstream media that is not about whatever IP, whatever franchise. It's not a great story full of great characters. Instead, it's something that has diversity, representation, woke agenda at its forefront. And they've been open and honest about that when it comes to this show. They've been open about not hiring Star Wars fans for the writing team and instead opting for minorities who have no idea what Star Wars actually is. We've seen who they picked for the casting. We've seen synopsises of what this show is going to continue to push and push and push. We heard Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, admit that this show is based on her experiences as an unfuckable queer woman. And whenever we have that agenda out there from the studio, the mainstream eats it up. They love it. They give it positive reviews. This is a great comment. Good reviews equals authentic. Bad reviews equals review bombing pathetic. And that's what it is time and time and time again when it comes to Star Wars, really when it comes to a lot of these things. But it's crazy how much they're already running defense and running cover. They set it up before the show even came out because they knew that they had a pile of shit on their hands, that maybe they love it internally. The woke fucks at Lucasfilm, the pronouns in bio, the trans flags, the fucking weirdos at Lucasfilm that are probably make up about 90% of their employees. They may have loved it, but they probably knew that actual Star Wars fans were going to despise this. And now here we are doing everything they can, the media doing everything they can to sweep it up and cover for Lucasfilm and blame the fans, just like we've seen over and over again. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.